When you think of Honda, you probably imagine sleek cars zipping through city streets or motorcycles roaring across open highways. But did you know this global juggernaut started in a tiny workshop with its founder tinkering away like a mad scientist? Buckle up, because this is the story of how Honda went from humble beginnings to becoming one of the most iconic names in automotive history. Spoiler alert, there's a whole lot of grit, grease, and guts along the way. Our story begins with Soichiro Honda, a man whose life sounds like it was ripped straight out of a rags-to-riches novel. Born in 1906 in Hamamatsu, Japan, Soichiro grew up surrounded by the roar of machinery in his father's bicycle repair shop. But little Soichiro wasn't just helping fix bikes, he was dreaming big. His fascination with engines started early, with tales of him running barefoot for miles just to catch a glimpse of a car in his rural village. Imagine the neighbors. There goes that Honda kid again. He's gonna be somebody, mark my words. Soichiro's obsession with machines only grew. He apprenticed at a garage in Tokyo, working tirelessly until he learned every bolt, nut, and piston like the back of his hand. By the 1930s, he was running his own company, making piston rings for Toyota. But it wasn't smooth sailing. His first batch? Rejected. Soichiro responded like any determined genius would. He went back to school, learned metallurgy, and perfected his design. And then, World War II happened. The war left Japan in ruins, including Soichiro's fledgling factory. But instead of wallowing in despair, Soichiro saw opportunity. With the country desperate for cheap transportation, he began experimenting with motorized bicycles. Enter the 1946 Honda A-Type, affectionately nicknamed the Bada Bada for the sound it made. It wasn't glamorous, more like a glorified bicycle with an engine strapped on. But it was just what post-war Japan needed. And Soichiro, he was just getting started. In 1948, he founded the Honda Motor Company. His co-founder, Takeo Fujisawa, was the yin to his yang. Soichiro was the fiery inventor, and Fujisawa was the business brain. Together, they turned Honda into a well-oiled machine, literally and figuratively. If the 1950s had a soundtrack, it would be the hum of Honda motorcycles. With models like the Dream and Super Cub, Honda revolutionized the industry. The Super Cub was especially groundbreaking, lightweight, affordable, and practically indestructible. It was marketed with the now famous slogan, "You meet the nicest people on a Honda," challenging the stereotype of bikers as leather-clad rebels. Suddenly, everyone from students to grandmas wanted one. By the late 1950s, Honda wasn't just dominating Japan, it was taking over the world. In 1959, they opened a subsidiary in Los Angeles, and soon, American teenagers were zooming around on Hondas like they were the coolest thing since rock and roll. With their motorcycle empire firmly established, Honda set their sights on an even bigger challenge: cars. Skeptics laughed. A motorcycle company making cars? That's like a fish trying to climb a tree. But Honda had something to prove. Their first car, the T360 mini truck, debuted in 1963. It wasn't flashy, but it was practical and reliable, two words that would become synonymous with the Honda brand. Then came the S500, a sporty little roadster that hinted at the company's future potential. But it wasn't until the 1970s that Honda truly hit its stride. The oil crisis made fuel efficiency a top priority, and Honda delivered with the Civic. Compact, affordable, and incredibly fuel efficient, the Civic was an instant hit. Suddenly, Honda wasn't just a car company. They were the car company for people who wanted to save money at the pump without sacrificing quality. Let's fast forward to the 1980s, a decade of big hair, neon colors, and something far more exciting for gearheads: the birth of Honda's VTEC technology. If you've ever heard a car enthusiast talk about engines, you've probably heard the phrase VTEC just kicked in. But what exactly is VTEC, and why did it become one of the most celebrated innovations in automotive history? Let's dive under the hood. VTEC, short for variable valve timing and lift electronic control, was Honda's answer to an engineering dilemma that had plagued car makers for years. Here's the problem: an engine's valve timing, the way its intake and exhaust valves open and close, determines its performance. Traditional engines had a fixed valve setup, meaning they could either be optimized for low-speed efficiency or high-speed power. But not both. It was like trying to design a pair of shoes that were perfect for running marathons and lounging on the couch. Impossible, right? Enter Kenichi Nagahiro, the brilliant Honda engineer behind VTEC. His solution? A system that could change the behavior of the engine's valves on the fly. The VTEC system uses two different camshaft profiles, one for low RPMs and another for high RPMs. At lower speeds, the engine prioritizes fuel efficiency and smooth operation. But once the RPMs hit a certain threshold, the system engages a more aggressive cam profile, delivering a surge of power. It's like having two engines in one, Dr. Jekyll for your daily commute and Mr. Hyde for when you want to let loose on the open road. The first car to feature VTEC was the 1989 Honda Integra XSI sold in Japan. It didn't take long for the technology to make its way to other Honda models, including the iconic 1991 Honda NSX. The NSX, often called Japan's Ferrari, showcased the full potential of VTEC by combining supercar performance with Honda's legendary reliability. Suddenly, the world took notice. Honda wasn't just a maker of practical sedans and motorcycles, they were redefining what performance could look like. VTEC's brilliance wasn't just in its performance boost, it was its efficiency. In an era where emissions regulations were tightening and fuel economy was becoming a priority, Honda managed to achieve both power and efficiency in the same package. While competitors were scrambling to build bigger engines, Honda proved that smart engineering could achieve better results with smaller, lighter engines. But perhaps the biggest impact of VTEC wasn't technical, it was cultural. The technology became a badge of honor for Honda enthusiasts, sparking a global community of tuners and racers who worship the unmistakable rush of a VTEC engine hitting its high cam profile. VTEC just kicked in, yo, became a rallying cry, and Honda's cars, from the Civic Si to the S2000, became the go-to choice for those who wanted affordable, reliable, and thrilling performance. Today, VTEC remains a cornerstone of Honda's engineering legacy. While other companies have developed their own variable valve timing systems, none have captured the same mystique and loyalty. VTEC wasn't just a technological breakthrough, it was proof of Honda's ability to think differently, to innovate boldly, and to deliver solutions that change the way we drive. So the next time you feel that unmistakable surge of power in a Honda engine, just remember, it's not magic, it's VTEC. Here's a plot twist you didn't see coming. Honda's journey wasn't all smooth highways. In the 1980s, they took a detour into the high-stakes world of Formula One racing. It was a risky move. F1 isn't exactly known for being a cheap hobby, but Honda saw it as a chance to prove their engineering prowess. And boy, did they deliver. By the mid-1980s, Honda-powered cars were dominating the F1 circuit, winning multiple championships with legendary drivers like Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. These victories weren't just for show. They cemented Honda's reputation as a company that could compete with the best of the best. The 1990s and 2000s were a whirlwind for Honda. On one hand, they were innovating like crazy, launching iconic models like the Accord and the CR-V. The Accord in particular became a staple in American driveways, earning a reputation for reliability and performance. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The global financial crisis of 2008 hit the auto industry hard, and Honda was no exception. They scaled back on some ambitious projects like their Formula One program and focused on their core business. It was a humbling moment, but Honda's resilience shone through. Fast forward to the 21st century, and Honda is once again leading the pack, this time in green technology. The company was an early adopter of hybrid cars with the launch of the Honda Insight in 1999, beating the Toyota Prius to market. Today, they're investing heavily in electric and hydrogen-powered vehicles, proving they're not just keeping up with the times, they're shaping the future. Honda's ventures aren't limited to cars and bikes either. From robotics, Hello Asimo, to jet engines, this company refuses to be boxed in. Soichiro's spirit of innovation is alive and well, inspiring a new generation of engineers and dreamers. Soichiro Honda passed away in 1991, but his legacy is everywhere. From the roar of a motorcycle engine to the hum of an electric car. What started as one man's dream in a small garage is now a global powerhouse, with over 30 million vehicles sold annually across the world. So the next time you see that iconic red H logo, remember, it's not just a brand. It's a testament to the power of dreaming big and never giving up, no matter how many bumps there are on the road. And as Soichiro himself once said, success is 99% failure. Guess that's why Honda's engines and its spirit just keep running.